Here are some info and tasting notes for the Maker's Mark 46. So the Maker's Mark 46 is actually their first variant since they first started distilling in 1953. So the idea behind this whiskey was to take regular Maker's Mark at cask strength and they go and age it for a further 9 weeks. The interesting part about this is that they take French oak staves that they've heavily toasted and they throw these inside the barrels that are aging the whiskey for a further 9 weeks to try and intensify that kind of caramelized wood influence in that toasted oak. They found initially during their experiments that it wasn't working so well in the standard warehouses, so they actually have taken this process down into a limestone cellar that they have, which allows them to create a very controlled temperature environment. So it means that the aging process is a little bit more controlled, because as you can imagine, it can get quite out of hand quite fast if it is really warm and there's a lot of wood interaction. So very interesting, because it's only a 9-week aging process that happens further on, which is a very short amount of time if you consider a lot of the time that is usually done in finishing. So really interesting. They use 10 French oak staves that they add into this. The stave profile was called profile number 46, hence the name Maker's 46, because interestingly enough it actually comes in at 47%. So a little bit warmer than usual. If you have a go on the nose of this whiskey, I mean, you can see already the beautiful darker color that comes out of that from that extra toasted oak influence. On the nose it's really fascinating because you get a lot of chocolate, like a cocoa powder. You get almost like a chocolate truffle. It's a really nice rich pleasant nose on that. So you might get some cinnamon and vanilla coming through, definite toasted wood influence on the nose. And if you push past, you might get faint hints of like cherry, which I find in Maker's Mark, which is kind of like a signature flavor profile I get from them. If you have a go on the taste of this, you're going to get toasted coconut. You might get some baking spices coming through, kind of like that cinnamon, nutmeg. You'll get some creamy vanilla. So really quite pleasant while it's on the palate. Not loads of kind of fruitiness or anything like that. It's just very much kind of toasted wood, kind of caramelized flavors. And it's got quite a short dry finish, so it doesn't hang around for the mouth. It evaporates and it's ready to go. So really pleasant, really great addition to their lineup. So I hope you enjoyed the Maker's 46.